back home after a busy season chasing the Enduro World Series around the globe, and for us in the Northern Hemisphere it might be getting cold and dark outside, but it's the perfect opportunity to put our feet up, have a cup of tea and reminisce about all the incredible action we saw unfold in 2015. As we entered the third year of the Enduro World Series, the depth of talent continued to swell. Now, all the big dogs have plenty of young guns to be doing battle with, and we see the finest field riders ever assembled. The year started with a long flight for most of us down to New Zealand, to a wonderland full of magic, Maoris, geezers, and incredibly unique trails.
Wheel spinning in the mud pretty much, and awesome crowd up there though. Cool. Almost like the bottom of Champery.
Stage 1 was so slippery, too much crash, 3 times. Now need to go slower.
Defending champion Tracy Moseley won a couple of stages, but she was finding the humidity and tracks hard work.
Some hard stages, some interesting conditions.
And Caroline Chausson, on the other hand, was looking comfortable all weekend and took the first round of the year.
I've done what I've done. I made some mistakes, I had some good runs, so I'm really happy with this result.
Floriana Niccolo's wild style had only intensified over the winter. He was all set to start the year on the podium until a punch on the final stage. Fabian Burrell has a knack of starting and ending seasons strong. He won the final round of last year and came close to it here again with a second place.
To be honest, Jerome was really on the gas, and most of the stages he was on the front of me.
Yeah, I'm happy to lead. I'm a bit sad because Jared is not here, but I hope he will be back and we can have a battle together again.
So Jared, it's a shame that we've not seen you on the racetrack today. Can you let us know what's happened?
Getting to the real sort of sharp end of training and putting in some big efforts, and just a corner I've done a million times before at home and overcooked it a little bit and found my head and shoulder with the tree. So yeah, 2 separated shoulders, and left shoulder's no real issue, but the right shoulder's it's going to take a little bit of time to come good.
The Emerald Isle welcomed us back to the Northern Hemisphere. The scepticism about the size of the hill showed that it truly is what you do with it that counts. The fans there as well, they were out in force and they gave us the wildest and most entertaining crowd we've ever seen. While Chausson was still strong in Ireland, it was Tracy Moseley that won this battle, returning strong after a disappointment in New Zealand to take a convincing victory and make it 1 apiece in the women's series.
Feeling better on the bike this time compared to New Zealand, a lot better, so yeah, really enjoying it.
The title race was on. If we thought Jerome Clements would have it easy with Jared Graves out injured, then we would have been wrong. The top 10 was swamped by emerging young talent. American Richie Ruud, Belgian Martin Mays, and the French duo of Floriana Niccolo and Damien Otton. A few of the more experienced riders held their own as well. Leov, Rennie Wildhaber, and Dan Atherton. But the big story was another rising star. Ireland's own Greg Callahan taking his first win.
Real loose moments where like can't hear anything, I'm just hanging on, getting away with it.
The sceptical could murmur about home advantage, but the pressure on this boy's shoulders was a whole other thing to deal with. Progressing over the last couple of seasons, this year with solid support from Cube, Greg was able to unleash his full talent.
Like every run probably couldn't have been better. It was amazing.
From the Bijou Hill in Ireland, it was a short hop over the Irish Sea to the Scottish borders and the quintessential tight trees that have been a stalwart of the British race scene for years. The Scottish weather was also out to give the riders from sunnier climes an authentic experience. There were 2 days of racing with 4 stages on each day. The infamous trails in the Peebles area gave the Tweed Love event a good mix of the natural terrain at Innerleithen on the Saturday with a more trail centre vibe orientated around the tracks of the famous Glen Tress on Sunday.
We've had about 4 seasons of weather in 2 days, but you've got no jacket on.
I've got a jacket in my backpack, but sun is shining, it's summer, you know? So I keep my jacket for the winter in 1 hour.
Last year's number 1 Graves was still out injured, and now last year's number 2 Damien Otton was also out when he suffered a painful break to his ankle.
Now I think my ankle is maybe broken, I don't know, but I tried to ride the stage 3, but it's impossible.
Last year we saw Nico Lowe take the win, showing hope that this year could be big for him. 13th at the first 2 rounds hasn't shown that potential, and 10th here hasn't either, but 4th on the final stage shows he still has the pace.
The last stage I feel my legs a bit more, and I do a consistent run. Really happy to finish like this, and right now excited to keep going and on the next round.
Instead, the young riders Callahan and Nicolai are in the top 3 here and in the series rankings.
I'm destroyed, still from last weekend. I gave all my energy and I don't think I have recovered yet.
Whilst the 2013 champ and series leader was struggling with illness, former downhill racer Justin Leov, who came out of retirement to race the Enduro World Series, taming the discipline and progressing to heights he was always close to in downhill, but never quite reached.
The more I learn about the sport, the more I realise that you just can never ever give up. You've just got to keep pushing yourself beyond kind of your limits and just hold it there.
There are many things that France does with incredible flair, and mountainous riding is certainly one of them. The Alpine backdrop just sets the scene perfectly for drama.
Really dry in practice, and then when we went up the gondola it was just torrential rain and thunder.
Round 4 saw the return of reigning champion Jared Graves, who was clearly out of the title chase having missed 3 rounds and still not back on top form after his injury.
Just a mess. Not what I was hoping for.
Despite a heroic attempt to keep it rolling, Anne-Caroline Chausson pulls out after the first stage due to illness.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be the same without having a close battle with Anne this weekend.
Sadly, this season we would see no more of the 13-time downhill world champion and BMX Olympic gold medalist. Whilst Tracy's main rival is out of the picture, the fight for second spot in the women's category was raging. Cecile Ravenel getting second here, with Annika Beerton improving with every race. They live in the same village, they're best of friends, and they both ride hard. This French round unsurprisingly saw a battle between the French legends. Nico Vulio taking the route of consistency, winning one stage and hovering between 5th and 7th on the others.
Yeah, best time for the moment, so it will be cool to keep it until the end. I'll cross my finger.
Whilst Fabian Burrell was forced into an all-out attack after a shocking 12th on the first stage. He came back to win the final 3 stages to take 3rd in the GC.
So I don't have much choice than trying to attack and not be conservative, you know. We clearly need to push if I want to get into good points for the overalls.
We've all known Richie Ruud has the speed. The point was hit home last year when he finished 2nd behind teammate Graves in Colorado. Winning 3 of the stages there proved he had it on home soil. But to come out with such a ride in France and beat 2 legends of the sport in their own backyard was something magical.
Yeah, it's definitely cool just to pull it off and finally get the win. And
this has got to be the start of big things for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, I hope it is, and hopefully I can do it again soon.
Despite a disappointing 12th place, Justin Leov was able to hold on to the series lead by just 40 points. We all arrived in Colorado with great expectations. The history of the sport enveloped us in a nostalgic bliss. wildflowers lined the valley floors and trails in a way that made it easy to understand what the riders on their clunkers were drawn in by. The terrain a complete contrast to the 3 previous European rounds. All that optimism sadly came to a shattering halt when word of a bad accident on the first day of racing rippled through the event. The tragic news that Will Olsen had died whilst competing just shocked absolutely everyone there. The emotions were even more heightened by the fact that he was a local rider and much loved amongst his fellow racers. The number 139, Will's race number from that event, was retired from use, and it will remain a day forged in the memories of all that were there. Not only for the tragedy, but the way the community came together to respect and remember Will through supporting each other. Whistler, a short hop up into BC from Vancouver, the land of lakes and lust for life. The riders were centred around the town, but taken on a real journey of discovery into the backcountry trails.
Like fast, flowy, natural, physical, just everything. One mountain has it all really.
People say it's easy this year, but it's not.
Isabeau Corderia takes her first ever stage win, showing the depth of talent emerging in the women's field.
Being on the podium in Whistler was like a dream, like something I couldn't make it, and today I just rode like I could.
Yet at the top, Tracy Moseley continues to be unstoppable.
Yeah, another win, but still, 2 more races and this. Still see so much. Poor Justin today, leading the series, goes down and hurts himself, so you still never know.
Gutted right now. I don't know, first stage I felt really good for the weekend. I felt fast. I think I just got caught out and went straight down on my shoulder, and yeah, it was just a gutting experience.
Josh Carlson was on fire all day, winning the first 2 stages and looking set for his best ever result.
Every stage has been rad, and so far the final stage is just going to top it off perfect.
But disaster struck on the final stage with a puncher. However, his teammate Johan Burrell was there to back him up with his best result in 2nd place. Jared Graves is steadily returning to form through the day, claiming a 2nd place on the final stage and 3rd in the GC.
I'm still just making a few little bonehead mistakes, like there, just not quite finding my rhythm on some stages.
So just seen you joking with Richie about him beating you today, but still got to be proud to see him up there.
Seen all winter how much hard work he's putting in, and he was just riding incredible.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone's ever won a round by that much before.
Riding like a champion all day, Ruud took over the series lead emphatically by winning the final stage by 12 seconds and the race by 40. With a 6-week break since the mayhem of Whistler, riders returned rejuvenated, fit and able to take on the last 2-round flurry in southern Europe. The medieval hilltop town gave a perfect platform to view the surrounding mountains that held so many great trails. The passion Martin Mays rides with might be the reason he sometimes pushes too hard.
I can definitely win, but I haven't got much experience. Constantly making mistakes, and you need to do like a perfect day to win, and it's kind of still hard for me, I think. Yeah.
He's certainly gaining that experience now, and here he got the balance bang on, rewarded with 3rd place. Once again, it is Johan Burrell in 2nd place as his season is finishing in a flurry of speed.
So much fun on the bike, that was so cool.
I was even laughing sometimes during the stages. Having fun. For me, it's the most important. If I have fun, it's perfect.
He has 2 downhill world championships to his name, and with his retirement from Enduro announced, it was clear that Fabian Burrell was targeting the 2015 title. But a crash on stage 2 knocked the seconds out of his GC and the hope out of his bid for glory.
It's a bit frustrating trying to put so much effort and just for like, you know, small mistake just to be too close of the edge and you lose 15, 20 seconds.
If winning 2 races in a row wasn't enough evidence that Richie Ruud meant business, then arriving in Spain to take all 4 stages on the first day of racing was certainly the moment he made himself hot favourite for the title.
Bit of a shit day in the end, you know, flooded as well, so it was, yeah, forget about it, go on to next weekend.
Isabeau Corderia, buoyed by her result in Whistler, finishes almost every stage in 3rd to take the final podium step once again. Cecile Ravenel comes out all guns blazing to take 4 of the 7 stages.
Yeah, pushing hard, and I like when it's dry, and I ride without pressure, and it was a pretty good day for me.
Yet the 2-time champion is 1 step ahead once again.
It would be amazing to win that 3rd title, but I think Enduro just has so much going on each race weekend that you cannot ever guarantee anything.
The huge joys of riding bikes in the mountains means we're always at the mercy of the weather. The final stage had to be cancelled, which didn't really affect the outcome of the race, but added some serious drama.
Yeah, it's okay. Sorry.
And so to the last round, finale Ligura. Such a good place to wrap up a season that is rounded off every Enduro World Series.
Today might be a good day.
The championship slipped from his hands in Anksa, but that was never going to stop Burrell from going out in style.
It's a bit emotional, you know, since this morning, because I know it'll be the last time I take a start fully prepared and just like I do now. But I really take it as a fun moment. I want to make the moment very special for me, so I don't put so much pressure on myself. I just ride and enjoy it.
After an awful injury before the first round that ended his title defence before it even started, Graves has steadily regained his form to take the final round, as well as the motivation for his winter's training.
Sometimes you think the injury was probably the best thing to happen for the season, because it just really made me realise how hungry I am for race results.
The fact that no other woman has claimed an Enduro World Series championship is testament to the brilliance of this racer. Her constantly optimistic love for the sport has made her the best ambassador any sport could wish for.
I'd say that season's done. Hopefully I'll make the finish line if I don't get too drunk here before the time check, and yeah, wrap up another pretty amazing season, and maybe the last EWS, but certainly won't be defending this title again, so I'll look forward to watching these guys.
The story of Richie Ruud's year is one of fulfilling potential and learning one's trade to the peak. Richie has always been recognised as a great rider with his impressive downhill history.
I don't know, I feel like this was kind of a bit bigger, because Junior World Championships I was like, oh, I got that one out of the way. I was kind of like meant to win that, but then this one's just like, yeah, that just happened. I just won 3 races this year and then the overall, so yeah, this is definitely ranks a lot higher than that, I feel like.
He's had flourishes of brilliance in Enduro, but seeing him pull together the whole consistent package in 2015 has been a delight. Richie Ruud joins Jerome Clements and Jared Graves as an Enduro World Champion. After 3 years of the Enduro World Series, we have 3 different champions, and looking to the future, we can see many more potential champions biting at their heels. We've also seen many of the women's field fulfilling their potential and gaining some consistency this year, from the likes of Corderia, Ravenel and Bearton, but there are also a host of others close behind that have shown promise. Ines Toma, Raywyn Morrison and Katie Winton, to name just a few. Having been such a dominant champion, it's hard to imagine not seeing Tracy Moseley contend the title next year.
Yeah, I've had 3 utterly amazing years with EWS, and I retired from downhill 4 years ago, thinking that was the end of my full-time pro career. So I've had 4 more years of loving racing, riding my bike. Always wanted to call it a day when I was on top. And when I've had such a good year, good season, still feel like I could probably do more, but I wanted to make sure I finished before it was I left it too long.
We've all massively enjoyed the spectacle that is Timo at the top of her game. With solid results from Joe Barnes and Ludo May, alongside Burrell's brilliance and Innes Thomas' progression, the well-rounded Canyon team deservedly took the team title. As the start posts and finish lines have a well-deserved hibernation, it's with great excitement that we look forward to seeing you on the start line in South America in March 2016.